here with Vincent Connor from Pinsent Masons. You did a great job hosting the roundtable just now. So when it comes to a Belt and Road construction project, does it matter if the seat of arbitration has no connection or affiliation with the contracting parties?
I think the really important thing for parties is to look at the question of choice of venue, choice of seat, choice of law even, taking some meaningful due diligence into what that actually entails. So I think actually following a policy of saying we're never going to accept a seat of dispute resolution simply because one of the parties happens to have its headquarters in that particular country or place is a little too simplistic. And so on questions like, for example, is Hong Kong a good choice of seat of dispute resolution? If there is a Chinese party involved, I would say, well, let's look at the evidence of whether or not there's any suggestion that that would get in the way of proper resolution of the dispute. Interestingly enough, our audience, when asked this question earlier on, around about half of them thought that the fact that there was direct engagement or connection between one of the main parties and the country in which the seat of dispute resolution is situated would be an issue for them.
They were concerned about influence, right?
Yeah, influence and interference and so on. And so half of them thought that if there was direct connection, then that would raise a legitimate question about interference, etc. About a third of the audience, however, said well, they wanted to know more. They'd want to know whether or not there was evidence of that kind of interference or influence in the past, and would look at a range of factors in deciding it. And for my money, that's probably the right one. But the one resounding point for me is that if you're looking to choose Hong Kong as a seat for dispute resolution on a Belt and Road project, first important thing for me is, well, there is no direct connection between Hong Kong and China. It's one country, but it's two systems. This is a separate system. And the flip side of that coin is, like any good lawyer, I say, right, well, what is the evidence to suggest that this system is in some way not appropriate for Belt and Road? And the short answer is there is no evidence that it's not appropriate. On the contrary, there is an absolute absence of evidence that it would not be appropriate, and there's loads of evidence such as independence of the judiciary, the common law application, the very consistent honouring and application of arbitration awards, and the really rich seam of professionals that support the arbitration industry in Hong Kong that makes it a great choice.
Great, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Pleasure, thank you, Tara.